Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Radio Free Wall Street. Hi, Friday night in New York. It's August. It's time to go to the Hamptons. So toast your great success and the great economy. Well, there's a little problem. We got the unemployment report, and after cooking the reports, it gets hard to keep on cooking them. And the new job creations was very light. I thought, wow. I thought Donald Trump was making America great again, and why are we not creating the jobs? I mean, with all these companies rushing back to America to put in their factories, and they got a huge tax break bonanza for billionaires, so they would hire all these new people, and we heard about the best economy in history. The best. I mean, this is no room for any error. If Donald Trump says it's the best, well, it's got to be the best because Donald Trump's the best guy, right? The best guy. The guy. Well, there's a little problem. The amount of new jobs created was very weak. And we decided maybe it's time to take a look and maybe see where maybe we missed something, because after Donald Trump told us how great it was, there was no need for us to go any further, because if Donald Trump says it's great, it would have to absolutely be great, because Donald Trump's great. He's great. You're great. They're great. His friends are great. Everybody's great. I mean, it's a great time to be alive in America. It's a great time to be great, and with great is great, and Donald Trump's great. So I had a little problem with the report. Me. Of course, I had problems with the headlines that quoted 155,965,000 people employed. Of course, they talk about the 120 million who are not. One of the largest bases of people who are eligible for unemployment are not working. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. But, if you're going to be great, you don't let these details get in the way. And there was another little problem. And the market reacted very quickly, though. Only 157,000 jobs created. Go, whoa. Oh, hold the horses, boy. Hold on, all right. Well, supposed to have 300,000 jobs created, 350,000, maybe a slow month, 250,000, and we were wondering, well, how the hell that happened? I mean, why didn't we create more jobs? Well, it turns out that job creation is getting kind of exhausted. Now, we were also told how strong the report is, okay? And I thought, well, if you have a great report like that, who am I to question these fantastic Einsteins in government? Well, the problem is that, me, I'm just an asshole. And I thought to myself, well, maybe we should look at some of the details in the report. And I had heard ballyhooed about incredible increase in pay. From July 2007 to 18, a 2.7% wage increase, and I thought, well, that's not really good news, because prices paid increased by 2.9%. So that meant that the average worker fell behind. Now, then I had a little confusion. See, I'm a simple guy. Well, if I've got people expenses increasing more than their pay, how does, within one quarter with Donald Trump, the magnificent president, I mean, he had the biggest inauguration ever, as you know, biggest landslide victory ever, and it turns out that this biggest increase in savings in the history of America in a month. And that happened at the time that we're told that debt increased by the most ever. Credit card debt over $1 trillion at the very time interest rates are going higher. And we found Americans are falling behind. Foreclosures are increasing. Oh, shit. Don't even let me get started on the problem with student loans. Oh, we don't talk about that. We can talk about motor vehicle sales that are collapsing. See, now let's see, if they're saving more money than ever and their prosperity is increasing, well, then you would see a corresponding increase in obviously the data on automobile vehicle sales. A direct correlation we've always made with that. And Now we're not seeing that correlation, but Donald Trump told me how great we are. The startling thing is that what's happening is we're seeing a large decline in the hours worked continuing. We're seeing also a lot of problems with the workforce. And all of a sudden, the report doesn't look so good. I thought, I want this to be a great report.
What are you talking about?
So as this thing keeps on coming unglued, you're sitting there wondering, well, what other surprises are there? And it turns out that the signs of a slowdown are everywhere in the economy. The workforce participation rate has not increased. Hours worked has not increased. Pay has increased over a long period of time, but less than the increase in cost in the economy. The worker debt has increased by one of the most significant amounts we have seen in a long time, in fact, a record. And all of a sudden, the amount of new jobs created are falling. Now, I remind you that this is a very weak jobs report. And this was also one reflected in the quarter that we should have picked up all the jobs. Because remember, Making America Great Again with the taxes. All the corporations were bringing back the money, and they were going to invest it in jobs and bonuses and pay increase. Didn't happen. We were also expected to see a huge increase in new hires. That didn't happen. And all of a sudden, we were looking at a very anemic rate. You see, in order to keep the rate going, you need to create about $200,000 jobs a month in America. And the situation is that it didn't happen. And also, we're a report that just doesn't make any sense, okay? It looks like that something very wrong is going on here in the report. We're seeing that the service activity in the United States, the IMS Manufacturing Index, in July fell to 55.7. That is an 11-month low. Now, I'm going, well, scratch my ass. Why is that happening? And then we're seeing all these numbers that just don't look quite right. But Donald Trump is telling us how great we are, and I know he would know. I mean, he is the prez. And he is the prez. I mean, this is the greatest prez we've ever had. I mean, you just ask him how great he is. And the greatest economy we've ever had. That is not making any sense. And I thought, oh, Donald, when you get these people to cook the books, you only cook the headline numbers and you let the stuff on the back end? Kudlow, you know better than that. And we got a situation where all of a sudden we got this trade war, and that's costing jobs. So I guess what the reality is, and I mean, I hate to say this, I mean, I really don't want you being upset, but there's something very wrong in the report. And Donald Trump is that the economy is sliding backwards. I know. Not backwards, yeah. And it's also a situation where things are looking uglier on the trade front. Companies are reporting that they're going to take manufacturing outside the United States. We got reports where the car manufacturers have seen, like I pointed out to you, a huge decline in vehicle sales. Oh, my God. And so it is one of these situations that is price of steel is soaring. And we've seen steel prices jump by 30%. So that's a 3 with a 0. And we're also seeing lumber prices skyrocket. And the tariffs are cutting into builders and increasing the price of new homes, which aren't selling very well anyway. And now we're looking at the tax cut break bonanza for billionaires. Well, it turns out, I mean, I hate to tell you this, that the little guy in America is paying more taxes than ever before, and the fat cats and corporations are paying less. And we also want to point out to you that the job growth is the poorest in years. 157,000. 2017, 190,000. 2016, 325,000. 2015, 256,000. 2014, 196,000. Why, that 157 means it's less, and that was before we had tax break bonanza for billionaires, before we had Donald Trump fighting the trade war, making America great again. So how is America great again? And the job growth rate, let's see, so after we had this algo guy, that's 13 is 1, 14 is 2, 15, 16. Why, it's the slowest in 5 years. Wasn't that supposed to get better, algo guy? Up is good, right? Yeah, algo guy says up is good. More jobs. And remember, Kellyanne, jobs. American people don't care about trade wars. They don't care about collusion. They care about jobs. And she had a little hissy fit. The problem was there were no jobs. Kellyanne, where are the goddamn jobs, Kellyanne? They're in the drawer here somewhere. I can't find them. Look above the collusion files. Oh, that's where they are. They got lost with the collusion files. And, oh, Donald. Well, let me tell you something. This guy is going to end up making a lot of money. And a lot of money. You got to say, thank you, Dandy Don. What a great man. Look, you've got a guy who clearly understands that is, a major world player. I mean, this is Mr. Art of the Deal. And he knows things that the other people don't know. I mean, the mind meld is well known throughout the annals of world history about his ability to zero in, and his opponents just get crushed as Donald Trump destroys any opposition, anyone who contests what he has to say. It's guys, it's uncanny what this man can do. And as you saw at Kim Young Nunchucks, I mean, he completely yielded to the power of the superior intellect, Donald Trump. Walked away and gave mostly everything, kind of everything. And it seems like it didn't work out that way. Now don't get upset, because this will all solve itself later, okay? And I don't want you to feel like there is a problem here, because job growth is anemic, because wages are not keeping up with prices. Don't you worry about any of that, because Donald Trump, who had the biggest victory ever in the elections, as you know, he's going to go ahead and take care of that. So Donald Trump, he's going to kick some ass there, and people will succumb to the power of you realize the German are superior people, and Donald Trump, with his German head, is the most superior of the superior. And superior people, you have to understand that if you're not a superior person and you're a peon, well, that's not Donald Trump's fault. And Donald Trump is great again. America's great again. You can feel how great it is. And it's a little itsy-bitsy problem with the unemployment rate dropping, even though job growth has not kept up with even the number of jobs for people. I also want to add that this is the heart of the summertime hiring season, the July report, and we didn't pick up the summer hiring this year. And, well, that's because we're great again. See, you have to understand it's complicated. Now, you shouldn't be expected to understand the nuances that not a lot of jobs were created, but that's great. You should not understand that it's probably too complicated with simple minds, but Donald Trump understands how this was one of the greatest job reports ever. He said, the best economy in history. The best. I don't mean, this is not like, from, just like the last 6 months. even though when I went through my research and found out it was among the slowest job growths, and that the disparity between pay and prices is the highest it's been in many years. Do not let those details get in the way. See, because Donald Trump is a superior intellect. And with my simple mind, I can't understand why job growth has slowed so dramatically. And I can't understand how a great man like Donald Trump, with the greatest economy ever, cannot explain to me why it's not so great, without the wage increases, keeping up with costs. And, see, that's where you have to understand that you shouldn't have fake news. I do fake news. Donald Trump is the real news. So since I'm the fake news, we have to rely upon Donald Trump. And all I can say is thank God for Donald Trump. I mean, let's be honest with each other. I mean, when you look at the man, his greatness exudes from every pore in the body. And I have to be honest with you and tell you that it really pissed me off. I was really insulted when he spun an extremely weak jobs report with some serious problems with the wage gains that, again, does not collaborate with the doubling of the saving rates of America to make his GDP report, and then further confirmation that Americans are falling behind, okay? So I guess being the simplistic person I am, and not a member of the ruling elite, and certainly not one of the great minds from the financial institutions, don't forget the schools, it turns out the geniuses who are losing trillions of dollars in trades because they're so great again. So I don't understand it, but I know that people who are more capable than I am do. And all I can say is I thank God for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is the man who's making America great again. Every day he gets up. You think he gets up and thinks about collusion? No. You think he's sitting there brooding about the Mueller investigation? Hell no. He knows there's nothing to it. He knows it's fake news. Donald Trump is here as the greatest defender of America and freedoms. He wants to expand your prosperity. Now, the fact that people are getting behind should not bother you. The fact that taxes are increasing, not decreasing for the middle class, should not bother you. Those are adjustment periods, and frankly, that's part of the deep state conspiracy. Now, once you understand the evil, I tell you, the evil of the great stakes conspiracy, they're trying to make Donald, who's trying to do great things, look bad. And, you can't, you have to understand that you should stop watching fake news. Donald Trump should be your news source with his twits. Donald Trump should be the authority on what's good and bad. And if you listen to him, it's the greatest economy ever. Okay? And it's the greatest. And Donald was there, and I thought, well, Don, oh, you're so great, Donald. And I have to tell you, I was really humbled by the incredible Donald Trump, the incredible thing he has done for us. And you need to understand that when you see these kind of things, you too should be on your knees thanking God for Donald Trump, the greatest president we've ever had, the man who will throw us into a new era. Now, it might seem really stupid to greatly cut jobs by tariffs. It would seem really stupid to slash the economy in these trade wars, okay? But Donald Trump, he knows better than that. See, he knows that what's good is bad and bad is good, and that you don't understand the good from the bad, okay? And you understand this trade war. This is a good trade war, not a bad trade war. See, there are bad trade wars, there are good trade wars, and there are great trade wars, and Donald Trump is great. So that means that everything Donald Trump does is great. His trade wars are great. He's great. And you don't understand great because, frankly, you are simplistic in your view, and Donald Trump is the superior intellect who understands great. So now that you understand that we really are great again, even though it's hitting great, but great is great, and great is great, and Donald Trump's made you great again. And I think you should appreciate the greatness of a great Donald Trump that has made you great, made America great, made everyone great, and great is great because, frankly, he's great. So if you think these trade wars are a problem, you're wrong. That is a deep state conspiracy. You're not to listen to it. The job report, even though it was the slowest job growth in like 5-6 years, do not listen to that because Donald Trump said the best friggin' economy in history. You understand? The best. Not second, not third, not first, the best. Now, if Donald Trump's bringing you the best, then you need to acknowledge the best and respect the man. The man who's the best, okay? Because Donald Trump knows more than you know. Donald Trump knows about the deep state conspiracy. Donald Trump knows he has to fight for you on a daily basis to make sure you got a job in a coal mine. Make sure that you have got a place in the world at a steel mill. Make sure that you can be great again with Donald Trump. And if you're really great and really succeed in life, you can also buy yourself a membership in one of his country clubs, because that's where all the great elite people come to meet. So Donald Trump is the greatest president we've ever had. I see where I was wrong. I mean, I'm not going to criticize him anymore. I just want to say, Donald Trump, thank you for wiping out the economy. I understand that wiping out the economy is good, because then you stop the deep state people, okay? See, it's kind of like a chemotherapy. Donald Trump is going to give the economy Trumpenstein chemotherapy. Now, you know, in chemotherapy, you make your patient very, very sick, and hopefully the tumor gets sicker. So Donald Trump is going to make the U.S. economy very, very sick. We're going to lose our ass in trade wars. Now, that may seem like that's bad, but that's good, because just like chemotherapy, he'll throw the economy into recession, and then the strong part of the economy will recover. Do you understand? It will recover because Donald Trump understands economies. I mean, he's a great economist. And he understands markets. You just ask him how much he understands it. And the casino in Atlantic City. See, the reason why he let that fail was because that was the greater good, that people would go to Atlantic City and they could travel to Macau. And that would help international relationships. And since they use a lot of slot machines in the United States, that would help the exports. So you don't understand the complexity of thought here. Donald Trump's not a fool. This is not some sex-crazed psychomaniac. This is not a pathological liar. This is not a man that wants to be dictator. Donald Trump wants you to slow down and smell the flowers. Donald Trump wants you to get in tune with the Trump revolution and stop the deep state conspiracy and stop the Democrats with Hillary, Dillery Doc. And if you understand that, then you can be great again along Donald Trump. Donald Trump is giving you a chance to be great again. And so you probably don't understand. You probably think that manual labor is bad, but it's good for the soul, okay? In fact, the Chinese and the Russians in the re-education camps got many people jobs that were formerly white-collar workers in a blue-collar job, and you saw how it made Russia great again. And so Donald Trump has that plan. To see, he understands the great pressures we are under. He understands the challenges of a great country like America. And he knows what will work and what won't work, okay? So I want you to absolutely open your eyes up and realize the great things. And this unemployment report is the best economy in history. The fact that wages and net of expenses are falling should not be thought about, and you should not question that. The fact that we didn't even create enough jobs for new people coming to the workforce, that is a detail that Kudlow understands and you don't. And Kudlow will be glad. I'm sure we'll hear from him and White House representatives throughout the Friday night, Sunday day puke shows on all those networks where they span out and then do their informing of the public. So this is your chance to be great again. This is your chance to become part of America's greatest hour with our greatest president, and do not let the deep state people fool you, okay? These reports are too complicated, and you should ignore them and let Donald Trump do it very simply. And Donald Trump has made it known that these are great reports. This is a great economy moving in great directions with a great president that you guys don't even appreciate. I really am ashamed of you. Okay, anyone that questions Donald Trump will pay the price, okay? Donald is not a man to be trifled with. Donald understands what it means to be great, and you don't. Donald Trump understands how to make great more great and greater, and you don't. And that's because Donald Trump is a great intellect. And you wait and see what he's got in store for Kim Jong nunchucks, and you wait and see what Donald Trump's going to do in the rest of his administration. And you see, this is a tactic, okay? This is a surprise event, and he's going to fool everybody. I tell you, fool everybody, okay? Donald Trump is going to make sure that the greatness of America exudes from every pore. And just because we're not creating enough jobs for the new people entering the workplace, Donald Trump wants you to know it was the best report ever. Because the secret numbers inside that he can't reveal to you is it. And so, please respect the greatness of your president. And all I can say is, Heil Donald Trump. Heil Donald Trump and his greatness and his declaration of greatness. And me, I'm going to short the shit out of this shit because this asshole, he's going to wipe out this economy. And I've never been a billionaire before. And I'm real jealous because that Bezos guy can be a billionaire. And that guy that walks around with the hoodies can be a billionaire. I want to be one too, okay? And I was thinking about that, and all I can say is, Donald, thank you so much. Donald, thank you. Thank you, Donald. Oh, and thank you, Putin, because remember, when you thank God for Donald Trump, I want you to very quickly thank God for Putin, because without Putin, Donald Trump would not be president. In fact, without Putin, right now, Donald Trump would probably be facing federal charges for money laundering. And if it wasn't for Putin, Donald Trump would probably be wiped out for his personal liability in the bonds he issued in the Trump casino in Atlantic City that wiped out and was one of the biggest disasters ever. So he has a lot to thank Putin for. And so you can understand why Donald Trump is loyal to someone like Putin, and why you should be too, because Putin's going to make Trump great again and America great again. And if you understand the kind of greatness that Putin brings, then you understand what America's going to look like in the near future.